are thrilled to have the artist Rodriguez and filmmaker Malik Bendjelloul here with us from the film Searching for Sugarman. Truly an amazing piece of art. It's won a number of awards already. Welcome to the show, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much for coming
Thank
on.
you so much for being here.
Good to be here.
You are a poet.
Thank you very much.
You are a true poet. Now, the story is so extraordinary, it's almost like, you know, when they say life is stranger than fiction. This story is truly stranger than fiction. So I really want to first, Malik, give us a little background on finding this story and the making of the film, and then we're going to get some details from Rodriguez.
I was basically traveling around looking for stories in Africa and South America 6 years ago. And in Cape Town, I met the detective who found that Rodriguez was alive. I don't know if I should just tell you briefly what the story is about. Please. I mean, it's about a man, this man, who made an album in the early 70s, which was a masterpiece. The producers were working with Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder, and they said that this was the best album we ever did. And the album flops.
And when we say masterpiece, I mean literally Rodriguez as a poet on par with Bob Dylan at the time. I mean, truly a beautiful, beautiful piece of work. I just had to put that in.
We'll test his vocals later and see.
Right.
It's beautiful, beautiful. So go ahead.
So he tries again, and the same result. Another flop, it sells literally nothing. And he understands that I need to find something else to do with my life. And he starts to work in construction in Detroit, really hard manual labor. And never learns that somehow one of those albums, one of those maybe 100 ever sold, got to South Africa. And in South Africa, Rodriguez became more famous than the Rolling Stones. He sold 10 times platinum. He became and is still one of the greatest artists there ever been in South Africa.
And not just as an artist, but I mean, during that time, it was, you know, the anti-apartheid movement, and you know, you as a songwriter, when you made the music, was very much about, you know, the working man and the struggle and Detroit and what was happening in the United States at that time. And it became the voice of people in South Africa. What was your creative inspiration when you were making the music initially? And this is for you.
Oh, well, the social realism of it, I think, is with the apartheid issue. You know, and it's a glimpse of it. It takes place at the same time. And in America, we have students' demonstration against the war. We have students burning the draft cards, young bloods going to Canada. So we had to, you know, and get a lot too much of that, and there goes that section of the country. So anyway, so there's a lot of young bloods in this film, you know, that were young bloods but soldiers then, and so it seems that there was a lot of soldiers in my audience. And they're Afrikaans, is my quote-unquote fan base in South Africa. So it's a beautiful country, gorgeous people.
And you've toured there how many times?
I've been down there 4 times, one tour 12 cities, so I've seen a lot of Australia. But the problems there are just like in the United States, I think, about the economic situation and housing. Ordinary rights like water rights or electric rights are being sought.
And your daughter ended up settling there, right?
Yes, she's my daughter Eva. I have 3 daughters, Eva, Sandra, and Reagan, and they have all helped me. So I'm able to share it. Anyway, my experiences with them, and they keep me going, see. And so Eva settled there, and in the area called Wilderness, so she's still there.
The first time you went to South Africa after you were found, because people thought that you had burned yourself on stage and committed suicide, right?
Okay, well, I wanted to get to that. I think one word is, how about the American term saying, he went up in the blaze of glory. So maybe the interpretation was such that it's possible, but maybe it was that kind of thing, and they say, oh, well, he burned himself, he burned out or something. So these words maybe are misinterpreted by other, so like that, as a means of putting some kind of what happened to him, you know. Yeah.
So you get, you know, so many years later, knock, 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 your face is on a milk carton
geez.
on a
Yes.
website.
Okay.
You know, where is Rodriguez? People think you're dead. And suddenly you get this phone call.
Yes. And this is the hero of the film, I feel, Sugar Segerman. He's the one that starts this with two other people, Craig Bartholomew and Brian Curran. So it's complete strangers. So that's when it happens, say, 96. He comes to Detroit from New York and says, here, he's showing me this. And they've been searching and got a hold of Eva, and Eva got a hold of me, and so that started that. So it was an exciting time.
And so you were a TV producer, right, in Sweden? And
Yeah.
so your background was production, so you were looking to make a movie about a great story, and you found something that's obviously taken a hold. You know, just to give my reference, when I was at Sundance, when I got there, you start to hear buzz about films, and the first thing I heard was about your film, and I had no idea what it was about, and I was invited to come to the showcase and to see him perform, and you know, he comes on the stage and he opens his mouth, and the place is just pin drop. So, talk about the feeling to be able to capture something like this while he's obviously alive, because a lot of times these things happen, documentaries, after people pass. And the beauty of just feeling that emotion that I felt while people respond like we respond.
For me, this is by far the best story I ever heard in my life. It's like a Cinderella story, but you know, it's even better than Cinderella. Cinderella didn't have such a great soundtrack.
She couldn't perform
she
like
she was
you
just pretty. You know?
That's the quote of the day. Oh, Cinderella was just pretty.
Which is not a bad thing to be, I think. Wait. Yeah, Oscar Wilde says, beauty is a form of talent, and so that's okay, not to worry. You know, don't let
I'll let Cinderella know.
Well, this is rags to riches story. I think
It
it's
is.
better that way than riches to rags. So I'm happy with the theme idea. You know.
So it was just, I kind of knew that this is the best story I will hear. Now I need to make a film that is as good as the story, which took 4 years to make. It's
4 years.
Yeah, it was.
And how did you support yourself during those 4 years?
I didn't. I didn't. I didn't buy clothes for 4 years. I didn't get any funding, so it was pretty hard. But to go back to your question about the feeling, it's it's overwhelming to. In a way, it makes sense because the story is so touching.
Right. And was Sundance your first experience with that kind of passion, or had you done a number of film festivals?
Never,
before
I'd
that?
never done a film before. And
That was it?
That was
No,
my
Film
first
Fest. Was that your first one,
It was
Sundance?
the first film festival in my
So
life.
that, what a way to come out at the
It was-
biggest independent film festival in the world, like that.
I understand, Jonathan. There's 10,000 entries to that. So,
Yes.
You know, people are submitting there from all over the world, and so that's very outstanding. You know, and he didn't know he was going to win. It's the People's Choice Award and the Global Documentary. So he
Because it's two stories. Rodriguez's story, he didn't know he was famous, and then there's the South African story. They know that he's dead. You know, literally, he's as famous as Elvis Presley, and he's as dead as Elvis Presley. So this big. It was in both, you know, both in Rodriguez's life and for the South African. It was this huge resurrection of that, you know, in a parallel world, you're someone else, and you don't even know about it.
Rodriguez, would you please play a song for us on the Weekly Comet?
I'd be happy to. Thanks a lot, Jonathan. Tomorrow.
Yay.
Let me tune up here. Are there stars out tonight? I don't know if it's coming or bright, 'cause I only have eyes for you, dear. I don't know if we're in a garden or on some crowded avenue. Dear, you are here, so am I. Maybe millions of people go by, but they all disappear from only have eyes for you. So, thank you.
Beautiful.
How have you kept your voice so intact over all these years?
Well, I've been at this since I was 16, playing guitar. I've done the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the zeros, and I'm working on the 10s.
Wow.
And the voice is just, you gotta be, in this society, as you as well know, you have to be vocal, you have to be verbal, you have to try and articulate, coherent, conscious, cognizant. So those words, and I have a lot of respect for the English language because it gets you through.
Now
So the vocal is, I'm a vocal. I work on that aspect of myself.
we were talking about this a little bit earlier. You know, you made these amazing albums, and as in your song Sugar Man, you got laid off 2 weeks before Christmas.
Oh, the cause one, yeah.
You know.
Yes. I get compliments from so many sources, like working people, young bloods come up and say, that's the best song you ever wrote. And they smell like they've been drinking a couple of drinks, you know.
Oh,
but I
couple
love
whiskey
them, you know,
sours.
in Newcastle, Australia, you know, so I get a lot of different responses. Thank you for that.
But how did you keep writing? How did you kind of make the transition from being like, okay, that's not going to work out for me right now?
Oh, geez, that's, as I said in the film, nothing beats reality. It's just you confront that, and you have to put yourself on hold. I think everybody does in that sense of what they want to do, and they reach that point where they really have to make that decision. And I think I came to that point too. So, yeah, and working class. I'm a hard working class background, and they so hard work is not, I'm not a stranger to that, so I can do that easy.
So I had the pleasure of having dinner with you and Donovan.
Oh, geez,
at Sundance,
oh,
and so I
geez.
just want to. I mean, I was like in awe of
Oh, wow.
talking and watching you guys talk, and I kind of just laid back and just watched you guys talk.
He's such a spirit, because if you, and as a matter of fact, it's just like you. Tomorrow we were discussing about music. It's always with you. Well, a song I was saying, I think, "Where You Love Like Heaven." Now that's a nice riff, and everybody, it's just, and it's in our
Got chills,
consciousness.
yeah.
Just that little thing, it carries us. And wow, remember that tune, and it's 1970 or something, but it's very much you carry that with you, you know. And so, yeah, Donovan, well, he's an icon.
How's it been for you to meet some of these interesting people that you might not have come across in your life now?
Well, he was the icon of icons. You know, he came very, you know, he sat with us, and then it was so sweet, and certainly he's gave us his blessing and stuff like that, and so to meet these people on the road, I've met James McCartney. My daughter Sandra hung out with him, and they talked music, and I've met Paolo Nutini in
Who's
Australia.
great.
And I mention him because he's such a new, and not only does he have the looks, which is okay, you know, and he has the pipes, he can sing, and that's good. And we need that. Well, the music will always be new, you know.
Will you play one of your songs for us?
Sure.
Sugar Man, perhaps?
Okay, if you want.
That would be great.
Okay.
It's my new favorite song.
Well, maybe
it's a 40-year-old song, and
I have it on
feels
repeat.
brand new.
Okay, yeah, you know, it's just, I always describe it to Jonathan as a descriptive song, not a prescriptive one, because a lot of people misinterpret. So I say, get your hugs, stay off drugs, stay smart, don't start. So it's just a song about, and it's that scenario. So let me get into this now. I have it. Sugar man, won't you hurry? 'Cause I'm tired of these scenes. For a blue coin, won't you bring back all those colors to my dreams? carry Jumper's Coke, sweet Mary Jane. Sugar man, met a false friend on a lonely, dusty road. Lost my heart when I found it. It had turned to dead black coal. Silver magic ships you carry, Jumper's Coke, sweet Mary Jane. Sugar man, you're the answer that makes my questions disappear. Sugar man, 'cause I'm weary of those double games I hear. Sugar man, sugar man. Sugar Man. All right, that's enough of Sugar Man. Thank you. Thank you very
So
much.
if you see one movie this summer, you must see this film, Searching for Sugar Man.
July 27th.
New York,
Blessings
New York, LA.
to
and
both
then
of you, and you both deserve so much success with this film and your music. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for
And
Thank
we will
you.
see you guys soon.
All right.
And
Thank
don't forget
you.
soundtrack July 24th, and please see the film. It's
Please see the
so worth
film.
it. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.